Hey guys, welcome to another note session. I am currently outside taking notes, so if you hear a car or a bird or my neighbor playing music or something, that's just because I'm outside. But today we're starting section 8.6 of the notes, which is called Factoring Quadratics. And this is actually part 1. We will cover part 2 next week. This is just the beginning. This is a copy of the foldable I would give you guys if we were in class. If you would like to print it out and put it in your notebook, you definitely can and take notes with me. If you just want to take notes in your notebook, that's fine too. Totally up to you. But I'm going to write on this side first just some basic steps to factoring, and then we'll do the examples on the right. So let's start out with the standard form. I hope you guys remember that. Standard form. It is, remember, it's like decreasing. So first we have some number, we'll just call it A, and then we have x squared, and then we have some other number b, and we have an x, and then we just have lastly some number plus c, which is our constant, right? So quadratic basically just means something with the power of 2 as the degree. Remember degree? So 2 is the highest degree. That's called a quadratic. Just like if we have y equals mx plus b, something like that, that's linear. It's linear because it forms a straight line. This is quadratic. That's all that fancy word means. But let's go ahead and start the steps. I'm going to write steps for factoring quadratics. The steps for factoring quadratics. So our instructions are, we're going to look at part A over here as our example. So I'll erase this. But part A, we're going to factor the trinomial x squared plus 5x plus 6. Let's go ahead and identify all of our coefficients. So here the A, what's in front of the x squared, is an invisible 1. The B by the x is a 5. And the C all by itself is the 6. And I color coded those blue, orange, and then green. So the first step here, step 1 to factoring quadratics, is to draw two sets of parentheses. Two sets of parentheses. The first term in each set will be the variable. So in this case, our variable is x, but sometimes it'll be y, or sometimes it'll be something else. Usually it'll be x though. So here are my two sets of parentheses. I've got an x, I've got an x. So this is the first term, and this is the first term in the other one. That's all for step 1. Let's move on to step 2. Step 2 is find the factors of C. Remember, C is green. Find the factors of the green C that add together to get the orange B. All right, I'm going to show you what that means in just a second. Right now I'm going to. All right, so what do factors mean? Over here I'm going to write the factors of C. My C was 6. And on the other side I'm going to write add to 5. All right, so factors means multiplying. Remember? So what multiplies to get 6 that also adds to get 5? Well, let's look at two things that multiply to get 6. There's 6 times 1, that's 6, and also 3 times 2, that's 6. So it's got to be one of those. Which one adds to be 5? Well, let's see. 6 plus 1 is 7, and 3 plus 2 is 5. So here it looks like 3 and 2 are going to be our winners there. And last but not least, step 3 is simply to fill in your parentheses with your factors. So all that means is, up here we had two sets of parentheses, x and x. We said 3 and 2. Those were our winners here. So we have 2 and we have 3. And they were both positive, so we put a plus in the middle. That's all there is to factoring, really. That's all there is. So now that we know the steps, let's go ahead and do some of these problems. Okay? Well, let me talk about what factoring is for a second. Factoring, okay, factoring just means the opposite of what we were doing before, which is multiplying binomials. So remember when we did this, we would say the x goes here and here, and then the 3 goes here and here. Remember when we did that? This is the opposite of that. So let's see what we would get. We said here to here is x times x, which is x squared. Here to here is 2x, and then 3 and x is 3x, and then 3 times 2 is 6. Then we combine these to get 5. Well, look, this, and this up here is exactly what we started with. So here we're just going backwards. We're just kind of going from the trinomial to get your two answers. We're just going backwards. That's all factoring is. So let's try these two examples. We just did this one. We said it was x plus 3 and x plus 2. Okay, now let's do the next one. We start with x and x. Okay, and we have to have numbers that multiply to get 20, but add to get 9. All right, and what are those going to be? What multiplies to give us 20? Well, we have 2 times 10, that's 20, and 5 times 4, that's 20, besides 20 and 1, but we won't do those this time. Okay, well, let's look over here. 2 plus 10 is 12, but 5 plus 4 is 9. So 5 and 4 are our winners. 5 and 4. If you wanted to check your work, you can always multiply it back, just like we did down here. We multiplied it back and see if you get the right answer. Let's do part C. We have to have something that multiplies to get 63 and adds to get 16. Okay, so what multiplies to get 63? 3 and 21 gives us 63. And 9 and 7 multiplies to give us 63. But which two add to 16? Let's try 3 and 21. Well, that gives us 24. That's not it. 9 plus 7 gives us 16. So 9 and 7 are our winners. Over here, x plus 9 and x plus 7. Okay, so before we move on, you notice that in all of our answers, in this answer, A, B, and C, it is x plus a number, x plus a number, x plus a number, x plus a number, okay? That is if everything up here is positive, if you have two positives in the middle. What if you have a negative here? See my negative sign right here? Then what will happen? Well, instead of two positive numbers, you'll have two negative numbers. I'll show you what I mean. All right, so this time we have to have two numbers that multiply to give us a positive 4 and add to give us a negative 4. So both of our answers, what I mean is both of our answers have to be negative. So for example, what multiplies to give a positive? Two negatives. So a negative 4 and a negative 1 multiply to give us 4, right? Negative times negative is positive. And what else? A negative 2 and a negative 2. That will give us 4 as well. But which of those will add to get negative 4? Negative 4 minus 1. Well, I guess we're adding. Negative 4 plus negative 1 is negative 5. And negative 2 plus negative 2, two negative 2's is a negative 4. So this one is the winner. Negative 2 and negative 2. So x and x, negative 2 and negative 2. Let's go down to the next one. Let's start out. I always forget to start with my x's here. X and x. Remember, multiply to get 21 and add to get negative 10. So what two negative things multiply to get 21? Well, there's negative 21 times negative 1 or negative 7 times negative 3. Let's see if either one of those will add to give us 10. Okay, so let's see. Negative 21 plus negative 1 is negative 22. That's not negative 10. But negative 7 plus negative 3 is negative 10. So our winners this time are negative 7 and negative 3. We have one more problem. Go ahead and make your parentheses. X and x. Multiply to 48. Add to negative 14. All right, this is our last one. Let's see if we can do it here. Multiply to 48. We have negative 4 and negative 12. Or we have negative 8 and negative 6. That will give us 48 as well. Which of those add to give you 14? Well, let's say negative 4 plus negative 12. That's negative 16, very close. And negative 8 plus negative 6, that is negative 14. If you guys need to put these in your calculator to see what they add up to, that is totally fine with me. Okay, so our winners, we said, are negative 8 and negative 6. There's one more thing I want to note before we stop our notes for the day. And that note is that the order of the factors does not matter at all. Oh my goodness. Okay, it doesn't matter. So like example, I could have x plus 3 times x plus 2, or I could have x plus 2 times x plus 3. These are both correct. So I can do it any way I want. I can say x minus 6 times x minus 8. That's the same as x minus 8 and x minus 6, so it doesn't matter at all. Factoring is really important, like super important, for you to do well in Algebra 1, and you're going to need it in Algebra 2 as well. So I hope you guys paid attention. You can re-watch my videos as much as you want. I'll post some extra stuff out there. There's tons of stuff on factoring, tons of stuff. So anywhere you look, you can find some stuff on factoring. And make sure to do your homework. So I will get on that tomorrow, and you guys have a great day.